Carney. Governor, thanks so much for spending a few moments with us. Let me get your reaction to the breaking news that we've been covering this hour. The assertion from the top doctor who was leading the administration, the federal government's effort to develop a coronavirus vaccine, that it was politics, not science, leading to the administration's response and his removal from that position.
Yeah, it's very disappointing that science wasn't the guide there, that it was more about politics and relieving that scientist from his position. Here in Delaware, as governor, and I know governors across the country are trying to use science and data to make very difficult decisions to reopen our economies. It's going to be more like using a dimmer switch to turn the lights back on than a switch that turns from off to on directly, but very difficult decisions that we have in front of us, as I heard some of the commentators talking about.
As several states are preparing, especially in the South, to reopen their economies in the coming days, despite a new model finding it's not yet safe to do so, you're reiterating that in Delaware, you need to see 28 days of declining cases before you'll reconsider reopening. Tell us why you're taking this approach.
Yeah, well, that's the guidance from CDC and the White House Task Force, ironically. Very logical, I think, science-based approach to it, a phased approach, 3 phases. But before you can even get to phase 1, you have to have declining number of positive cases in your state for 14 days straight, and then you can get to phase 1. But you also have to have in place a sophisticated, more sophisticated testing program, which we are working on here in Delaware. And you also have to have a contact tracing program that no one that I know is near ready for across our country. Some of the states in the Northeast region are getting closer to that. Massachusetts, we had an NGA governors only call this afternoon. And what I heard mostly from most governors was that they're not ready from the testing program, a point of view, from the isolation point of view, and from the point of view of the contact tracing. We have a lot of work to do. We're eager to do it, so we'd like to turn the lights back on slowly, carefully, protecting the health of the people of our state and also cognizant of the need to get the economy going again. But the worst thing, I think, is to start to turn the lights back on and then have to turn them off because we have a rebound or a resurgence of the virus. The whole talk of the combination of a resurgence of the virus with the flu in the fall is just terrible to think about.
Yeah, with so many lives at stake, you got to err on the side of caution right now. Your colleague, the New York governor, Andrew Cuomo, says now is not the time, in his words, to act stupidly. Do you worry that some of the relaxed guidelines in other states could end up having a negative impact, for example, on Delaware?
Well, I have some level of confidence because I have joined the coalition put together by Governor Cuomo of the states of Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. And I work very closely with Governor Hogan on our western boundary. In fact, we have big issues coming up with respect to opening our beaches there along the Atlantic coast for this summer. So we're talking already. Our chiefs of staffs, our directors of public health and health and social services are working on that coalition. I know they've had conference calls already. So we're going to try to do things in a coordinated way, because what Governor Wolf does in Pennsylvania really affects the northern part of my state. We have thousands of Pennsylvanians who work in the northern part of Delaware, and vice versa. We have thousands of Delawareans who go to Philadelphia to work, and our connections with New Jersey are similar, and certainly with Maryland. So one of the areas where I do feel confident is the communication we have among governors in our region and the commitment that we each have to work together to reopen our economies in a coordinated way so we don't create problems for one another.
You got a lot of people here in the greater Washington, D.C. metropolitan area who love coming to the beaches in Delaware. You got some great beaches there, as we all know. Governor Carney, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
And stay safe.